Hi, I'm Michael Jolton with NIMBL. In my last video, we introduced SAP's S/4HANA Cloud and compared it to an apartment, renting an apartment. In that video, we focused on the public or multi-tenant option for S/4HANA Cloud. Since that time, there's been a great deal of interest in the private or single tenant version or option rather for that for the SAP S/4HANA Cloud solution. So what I want to do today is talk about the similarities and differences of those two. So let's start again with multi-tenant. As I said, that compares to, say, a residential apartment designed for a family and how you would rent that apartment. The single tenant option, much more configurable. It's like renting a commercial space that you can build out however you want to build it out. In the multi-tenant option, you are going to pay monthly rent, if you will. Same thing on the single tenant option. You're going to pay a monthly rent. You're still renting, you're not buying. With the multi-tenant option, we talked about you have quarterly updates. From an apartment standpoint, that would be like the superintendent coming in every 3 months, and maybe one time he replaces the microwave, another time they replace the dishwasher, every 3 months. In the single tenant version, you're still going to get updates, but they're going to come every 6 months. In addition to that, you're going to have the option to wait up to 6 months to actually implement that that update. So again, going back, rather than getting the microwave in one update and then 3 months later getting the dishwasher, you're going to get, in the single tenant, you're going to get the microwave and the dishwasher at the same time. However, you can say, I don't want that to come. I've got a big event going on, and so let's do that 3 months from now. Let's not do that now that you're releasing it right now, or 4 months from now, or up to 6 months from now. But after that 6 months, you are going to have to take that update. Going back on the multi-tenant option, I talked about how you could redecorate it. It's pre-configured. The software is configured for a business model, but you can tweak that configuration to fit your specific business needs. You can redecorate an apartment, hanging different paintings or putting in different furniture to suit your needs, but you cannot reconfigure that apartment. You cannot change where the walls are, where the kitchen is. In single tenant, you can reconfigure your solution. You have all of SAP's modules available to you, or all of SAP's S/4HANA modules available to you, and you can choose which ones you want to implement. You can choose how you want to configure those models, all the way down to the building blocks, so you've got tremendous flexibility. You also have the ability with the single tenant option to use an accelerator, a pre-configured business model for your implementation. The big difference is between that pre-configuration and the pre-configuration on the multi-tenant is that, again, you can change that pre-configuration however you want to change it, whereas you cannot change that in multi-tenant. Next, we also talked about testing and training with a pre-configured solution in multi-tenant. That training and that testing can already be set up because we know what the configuration is. If you will, when you move into an apartment, you know what the microwave is, and so there could be a manual for that microwave sitting there on the counter waiting for you, showing you how to operate it. Similarly, when you move into an apartment, it's going to be you're going to assume that the testing has been done, the certification has been done. You can go ahead and move in and live in that apartment. With the single tenant, because it's not pre-configured, you get all that flexibility that comes with it. And you're going to have to create your own training material. You're going to have to create your own test scripts and such, because again, that configuration is going to be vastly different from one implementation to the next. So again, you move into a commercial space, you're going to decide what microwave or dishwasher you want to put in, so you're going to have to train your people on how to use that, or come up with your own manuals, if you will. And similarly, you're going to have to certify or test that space to make sure it's certified along with OSHA standards or what have you. So much more to it on the single tenant side. At the same time, it's still a lot less than if you wanted to do create your own building from the ground up. So you still get tremendous benefits from the cloud. As I talked about on multi-tenant, just wrapping up, you're going to move in with your stuff. You're going to move your stuff out. Same thing, cloud software. It's going to be your data going in, your data when you leave, should you decide to leave. On the single tenant side, no difference there. Your stuff is your stuff. You move in with your data. If you leave, you move out with your data. It does come with you. Last but not least, on the single tenant, we've talked about you can't reconfigure. Also, you cannot really change that underlying foundation of the software. You can't go in and modify the code. That's the exact same on the single tenant side. You can, you have the ability to reconfigure, but you cannot change that underlying foundation. You can't bring in a host of ABAP developers to customize a particular module. You can only configure that module. So hopefully that summary gives you a good description of the commonalities and differences between multi-tenant and single tenant. I do encourage you, if you have any questions, please reach out to us here at NIMBL, and we hope to hear from you, and we'll see you next time.